Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we have something very exciting that I know quite a few of you guys actually are interested in doing to your vehicle, and that is the LED switchback mod here with the daytime running lights down here below on the front bumper. Now this mod, let me preface this, is going to be very expensive if you're going to want to do it. Now the GT Sport owners might actually luck out here in the fact that they might only need new lights instead of new grille surrounds as well here on the N line. So if you have a GT Sport, you might luck out and only need the running lights, which are actually probably going to be cheaper as well since they're a little bit older and are more readily found overseas. So of course I have the N line, so which means it's going to be very expensive, but luckily I found a fairly good deal on eBay from Australia on a used set of lights, and I had to purchase new grille surrounds from Korea. So I had to definitely piece this kit together, which was quite a bit of work and a lot of money. This is actually, fun fact, the most expensive mod I have done on the Elantra GT to date, if it works out. So keep that in mind when you're watching this video. Also, I'm going to talk later in this video about a Patreon opportunity to help donate for these projects if you guys are able and willing to. So please stick around for that. So let's not waste time and get into seeing if the LED switchback mod works on these cars. Here's just a quick look at what the daytime running lights look like. Of course, they don't look entirely different here because they really aren't that much different. Let me go ahead and grab one and show you guys the difference. So here is the difference between the two lights. The major difference is just the length of the light, which extends all the way to the center over here on the bumper. So that is really the only difference, aside that this one is a switchback and that one is only amber. So this one has white and amber LEDs, and this one just has amber LEDs. And of course we also have the two front grille surrounds, which just have a larger opening out top here, as you can see, versus this one. Now one thing to note is I want to mention that you might be able to DIY these surrounds and just cut them if everything on the backside bolts up to the new lights as well. So that's just something we will find out a little bit later in this video. So I just want to update you guys where we're at on the DRL swap project. I just got the driver's side plastics changed out. I don't know if I filmed that or not. It took like a half an hour just to get the factory one out, and then I had to finagle this new one on, but everything fits fine as far as the plastic goes, and then the light mounts fine on the back side of the bumper and everything like that. There is one extra tab that is not used on the bumper here, but it does not get in the way of anything. But where we stand now is like I feared and like I've said before in the Facebook group, is the light is hitting the crash bar. This part of the light right here, the inside little extension there that you guys can see, is hitting the crash bar by about an inch over the edge. Now the bumper almost fits, even with the hitting, it almost fits on there, but it's not quite fitting. I mean, it's got to be less than a half an inch farther in, and the bumper would fit. So I really am not gonna mess with the crash bar because I really don't want to do that. So I think what I'm gonna do is send it on one of the lights and see if I can file down the backside of the light, see how far I can cut into the light to get it to fit around the crash bar. I guess here goes nothing on this driver's side light, and let's see how it goes. Okay guys, so I have a little bit of unfortunate news with the DRL swap here on the front end of the car. I still have the grille surround in the bumper for the overseas DRL, but as far as electronics and the plugs and functionality, it all works. You can plug and play. These things will light up, do the switchback function. Nothing wrong with that. It all works 100%. But physical fitment on the car, yes, the crash bar gets in the way. So unfortunately, I'm not going to cut the crash bar or bang it in or anything like that to make them fit. I did try one thing, which again was just kind of like my way of trying to get it to fit without cutting or modifying the crash bar. And that is, I went ahead and tried to shave down the back of the DRL where it was overlapping. I'll go ahead and put pictures on the screen so you guys know what I'm talking about, where it is contacting the crash bar. But here we go. I went ahead and shaved down, I don't know if you guys can see that, shaved down the backside of the DRL where it was contacting the crash bar. And I got it to almost fit like this, but there is not much more material to remove, and it still needs probably a good quarter of an inch to get it to fit right on the car. You can kind of shove it on there if you want, and it'll be really taut and really tight on the front of the end, on the front of the car with the mounting points and everything like that. But here is the other side, so you guys get a little bit of idea of how it comes from the factory. I shaved down a good quarter of an inch off the back of this light, and again, it is still contacting. So I think it needs a solid 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch shaving away to get it to fit. But like I said, that's how things go. I wanted to try this mod to see if it would work, and again, like my gut instinct says, it's plug and play, but physically it does not fit. Now, another option might be to get the crash bar from an overseas I30 and mount it on the car. As you can see, it would probably bolt on just fine. I'm not sure exactly what the differences are, if it's just the shape, the curvature, or is it the length? It might be the total length's a little bit shorter on the others, or on the I30s. Would it work with the US spec bumper? Not sure. That's just an idea. Would the foam need to be changed out behind the bumper? Probably, because as you can see, there's some foam back here on the back side of the bumper, so that would probably need changed if you were to change the crash bar. But again, just some ideas that I'm putting out there right now. So yeah, I guess it's kind of unfortunate that this didn't work out, but I think I will be letting somebody buy these lights off me if you guys would like to be doing this mod yourself. I'll have all the supplies and everything like that. Again, I just think this is something that a little bit more work than I want to do on the car in terms of getting it to 100% fit. And it sucks that I already modified the light, but I think that gives somebody else who wants to do the mod a little bit of a head start on doing it themselves, because I still think you can shave enough material down here on the light to get it to fit, but you're gonna have to seal up the backside and everything like that. And sucks, I got one speck of plastic inside, but you can't really tell, especially from afar, but there's one little speck of plastic in there. But again, everything still works fine. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this kind of half installation, half me rambling on about a DRL mod swap. Stick around right after this clip. I'm going to sit down and tell you guys about a way to donate to support the channel and some of these mods that I'm trying on the car. Because again, this was not cheap, and I put a ton of hours in today trying to get it to work, and unfortunately it's just not going to happen. So stick around in the next clip so I can talk to you guys about Patreon. So let's go ahead and talk about Patreon really quick, but before I do that, I want to give you guys a quick little update after I've kind of thought about this mod for a few days, and that I still think it's possible, and I'm not quite ready to sell these quite yet, in case I kind of want to revisit it here while I have some time. But anyways, I think all that is needed here on this light is basically for you to cut as close as you can to the clear plastic right along this edge here, around the side, all the way around, and then go ahead and insert or place some sort of plastic material on here to cover up the gap, and go ahead and silicone everything shut. And I think that will give you enough room to fit this light on the car without modifying the crash bar. So again, I think you just need to cut down as much of this plastic as possible, and then seal it up with like some ABS plastic and some silicone. But you need to be careful when you're cutting this, because the LED board inside the light ends right about where I cut. So right in this area right here is where kind of like the LED board inside ends. But in here, there's nothing really to it. It's just kind of like a support beam inside. So you're basically pretty much free to cut all along this edge. Just stop, I don't know, right about here. So like I mentioned earlier in this video, I went ahead and set up a Patreon for this channel. Now, if you guys are unfamiliar with Patreon, it's basically just a platform for creators to use as a way to generate a little bit of extra income in exchange for exclusive perks, videos, images, just a whole bunch of stuff you can offer your fans that subscribe on a monthly basis. Another way I'm going to be using Patreon is just a way for you guys to donate to the channel and help support these mods that are kind of a little bit on the expensive side. Again, I'm not going to force anybody to donate if they cannot afford to or do not want to simply. But for those of you guys that want to support these mods, this is a way for you guys to basically support and help out the channel in that way. Now, in terms of what you guys will get in return on Patreon, I will be posting more real-time updates of what I'm doing on the car or just in general here on the channel, rather than you guys seeing the video a few weeks after I get everything edited and posted to YouTube. So that's kind of what you guys will earn in return for supporting me on Patreon. Now, I have a few different tiers, and I've just kind of added a little bit different perks to each one. For example, if you guys subscribe to the highest monthly tier, then you guys will get your name, kind of like a credits at the end of every video. Just give you guys a little bit of a shout out for supporting the channel. But yeah, that is basically what I'm going to be using Patreon for. And think of it this way, if you guys do support me on Patreon, a lot of you guys do want to see certain mods done to the Elantra GT. And like this one was done purely because some people wanted to see it on Facebook to see if it worked. And I had my thoughts on it, but I really didn't know if it was going to work. So I ended up finding a fairly good deal on a set of lights. I said, screw it, I'll try it out. And here we are. It basically works, but requires some modifications. So basically, I'm giving you guys an answer to some of these mods. And in return, if you guys donate, you basically are contributing to helping finding these answers. And if stuff doesn't work, well, you guys aren't out that much money in trying it yourself. And if they do work, well, you guys know the answer for sure, how to do it on your car, and it only costs you a couple bucks extra in the process. So think of it that way, is it's a way to donate to find an answer one way or the other. And yeah, you'll get content out of the exchange. So that's what I'm going to be using Patreon for. I hope you guys will consider subscribing. If you guys only want to do it for 1 month at a time, you can totally do that. If you want to do it on a recurring basis, you can do that as well. I appreciate everybody who subscribes. All the money from Patreon will go into the channel in some way, whether it's mods, buying other stuff to create videos on, buying and upgrading my gear, you name it, anything to support YouTube videos. It will definitely be spent like that. So yeah, as you can see behind me, see the blue wet sports are off and the new wheels are on. You guys can head over onto Patreon right now, where you guys can see an exclusive picture that I posted when I put the wheels on the other day. Again, I hope you guys consider Patreon. If not, I totally understand. But then it's just another way to support me here on YouTube. And one last thing, if you guys don't want to spend money supporting me, you can also use my Amazon affiliate link down in the description below. That will cost you guys nothing. It is free for you guys to use. You just have to click on that link before you purchase anything. I believe the link stays active for about 48 hours after you clicked it. So if you buy anything on Amazon, but click that link first, it will give me a very small contribution and commission on that purchase. So if you guys want to help me out and don't want to support me on Patreon, please consider using that link for Amazon. So with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, there might be a follow-up here on the DRL mod if I want to continue doing this mod. But you guys will definitely find out on Patreon first. If not, I will definitely sell this to somebody who wants to continue and hopefully complete the mod. I think it looks amazing on the car, the white DRLs. Definitely clean up the look a lot. I still like the amber. but the white definitely makes it clean and looks really nice. But hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below on this video. It definitely helps me out. Also hit that like button. Also helps me out. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.